Hi everyone, it's Bonita from Pennies to Dollars. And today I thought I would tell you about some of the things that I did when I was raising my kids to save money. And we were very, very poor when I first started having children. In fact, our grocery budget per week was $30 a week. And so I had to buy everything on that $30, toilet paper, everything. And so I thought I would tell you about some of the things that I did to save money, and maybe you can use some of these yourself, and maybe there's some things that you haven't thought about. One of the first things that I did is we used cloth diapers. And I know some people are going back to that now, but I had 6 children and my first 3 were all in cloth diapers. And as they got older, you had to put 2 diapers on them. And back then you used these plastic pants. I don't even know if they make them anymore. But we used cloth diapers, we washed them out, and we hung them on the line. And it saved us a lot of money, and it actually protected their skin better. When we started using like disposable diapers, if we would travel or have a weekend away where we couldn't, take the cloth diapers and try to keep them and keep the odor down and such, we would take the disposable ones, and my daughter would always break out every time we used them. They kept that moisture in, they kept that heat in, and she would always break out in a rash. So from personal experience, the cloth diapers are so much better on their skin because it doesn't trap in that moisture and that heat. The second thing that I did is I breastfed all of my children. And some people may think this is gross, but it saved us a ton of money. And I know there are a lot of health benefits to breastfeeding your children, but we found that it was so cost effective that we really couldn't have afforded to have bought formula. And I know that there's WIC and things like that now that people use, but back when I first started having children, if there was WIC, I wasn't aware of it. We lived in a rural area and I didn't have anything like that available to me. The third thing is we made all of our own homemade Halloween costumes. And we had such a good time. It was such a bonding experience and a huge project that we would undertake starting in like September to figure out what they were going to be and then figure out how we could make their Halloween costumes. We made Superman costumes, we made little devil costumes. We even spent a long time with one of my daughters who was older in getting an old box that we had that was huge, that covered her whole body, cut out a neck hole, and made her look like a ketchup bottle. I mean, we were very creative, and we had such a good time doing that together. We didn't purchase Halloween costumes. We came up with something and made them on our own. And if you've not tried that, it is so much fun for you and your kids. We also, of course, shared hand-me-downs. Things would get tried on every year before school started, and things would go to the next child if they were too small for the child that was wearing them. And we only replaced pieces that we absolutely had to replace to try to have enough clothing for each child, because we knew they were going to grow so fast that it just seemed silly to keep purchasing items when we could pass them down from child to child. And again, I always hung all the clothes on the line. I did everything I could to be as frugal as I could to make our money stretch so that we could use it where we really needed to use it. I also had all homemade snacks. We didn't buy prepackaged snacks like a lot of people do today. Everything that they had in between meals was always homemade. I always kept things pre-made, and if we were out of something, I would make something else. So we always had either fresh or baked goods for snacks in between meals. We also altered our schedules. My husband and I altered our schedules so that we did not have any babysitting costs. One of us worked one shift and the other one worked another. And our supervisors knew that we were altering our schedules. So they knew that they couldn't just like call us in on a day that we weren't already scheduled because there was no one to watch the kids. But this is one of the ways that we really made it work. And I know a lot of people will say, well, we'll never see each other. Well, it's true. We didn't see each other as much as we would have liked to, but it saved so much money that it really was important to our family's well-being for us to do that for a while. And we did it for quite a while. In fact, for the first child, I don't think she was ever at a babysitter for the first 14 to 16 months because we always made sure that we alternated schedules. The next thing that we did is we didn't have pop, we didn't have tea, we didn't have coffee. We just had water and we had milk and we had frozen concentrated juices. And the milk and the juices were just at meals. They weren't just for in-between times. We drank water in between times and we drank milk or juice at meals, and you had your choice. And so there wasn't just an endless supply of food. It was very well calculated. We had a meal plan and we knew what we were going to buy when we went to the store, and we knew what we were going to have each day for each meal and what we were going to have in between meals, so that there wasn't a lot of extra purchasing going on. And I know that's very popular today, but we did this back before it was so common on social media for people to recommend this. We also had a lot of meatless meals, or a lot of really low cost meals. We ate a lot of Kraft macaroni and cheese with hot dogs cut up in it. We ate a lot of things that were just not very expensive, and a lot of one-pot meals, a lot of casserole meals to make things stretch. We ate a lot of things where you could add some more liquid, or you could add another bit of some sort of sauce to it and make it stretch farther. And we did that all the time to try to make our meals stretch so that everybody was full and everybody was satisfied. We also didn't have a lot of purchased toys. We lived in the country. We played decks of cards. The kids learned how to play multiple card games at a young age and continued to play that all through high school. Even on bus trips where they would go, they would be playing cards in the back with their friends. They played with the Barbies. Even the boys had to play Barbies sometimes with their sisters. We had a swing set. We had a sandbox. We had bicycles. We had balls. We had colors and crayons. We had Matchbox cars. And that was pretty much the extent of the type of toys that we had in the house. But they were very universal. You could play with them, boys or girls. You always had someone to play with them with you. And they never felt like they were missing anything. They had such a good time playing with those items and playing outside. We didn't have them grow up with any video games. They weren't even popular back then that I'm aware of. If they were, we were not aware of them and we did not have them. So those are some of the things that we did to try to save money as our kids were growing up and we had a house full. And so I hope that this is helpful for you. I hope that maybe you can draw some of those ideas, or maybe it will spark another idea for you on how you can save money with your family. And thank you for watching today.